Okay, a few weeks ago I went down to the White River with my friend Joy Minetti. We fished with John Barry in the rim shoal area of the White River. They were running about 12,000 to 16,000 CFS high water, so we were fishing high water. John hooked up our rig with a San Juan worm as an attractor. And below that he put this pattern, which he called a girdle bug. I call it the White River Girdle Bug. Since if you look in the internet, most girdle bugs are tied with black bodies and white legs. This looks a lot like a Pat's rubber legs. It's a heavy pattern. We fished about 9 feet deep and we had a lot of weight on there, so this had to get down quickly. We fished for big fish, didn't catch but a couple big fish. Joe caught a nice 26-inch brown on the first day out, and on the third day out below the dam I caught a nice 22-inch rainbow. It said this is a heavy fly, got a lot of weight on it, and it's a big fly. The old adage, big fly, big fish, big river, we kind of kept that in mind. I'm going to tie this on a MFC, a Montana Fly Company 60-degree bend jig hook. This is a 7322. It's a 3X long. This is a 60-degree bend. And on there I have a tungsten bead. The bead is a 3/16 inch and it's in the color copper. To also help get this fly down, I'm going to put on some 16 or 15 thousandths lead. Okay, I'm going to start this on the shank just above a point, above the point. Or placed there above the point. I'm going to wrap it forward. And I'll helicopter it off. Okay, I'm going to bring it back. And I'm going to put a little dab of head cement. Excuse me, this is super glue. We'll push it forward. And I'm going to pull this straight down so you can see that tag in. Notice it's just slightly forward of the point of the hook. And we're going to use that as a marker a little later on in the fly. Okay, the thread, I'm going to be using some brown. You can use 6/0, 8/0. I prefer small threads, so I'm going to be using some 12/0. Nice and strong thread. Make a little dam behind the lead. Bring it in front of the lead. And then I'm going to take this tag in and make a few wraps over it. And helicopter it off. Okay, we'll lay a base down the shank then to point on the shank above the barb. We'll hang it down. You can see I'm not quite there yet. A couple more wraps. And now I'm right above the barb. Clip off our tag in and bring our thread forward. Okay, for the legs and the antenna, or the tails, I'm going to be using some Life Flex olive brown. I'll take a piece of it and fold it over. And we'll clip it off. Okay, we're going to tie that in right behind the lead. Get it good and snug. And I'm going to pull it, stretch it. And when I stretch it, it's going to hopefully split here at the end. And I'm right above the barb, which is where I want to be. Okay, we'll bring our thread back behind the lead. I like the tails to be just about 3/4 of the shank, so I'll cut them off. Okay, for body material, I'm going to be using something that's called chenille, small chenille. It's a fish food, small chenille in coffee black. I'll cut off just a 6-inch section. Now they also make this chenille in a medium size. Now we use, I believe, the small to give this fly a small profile. Also to help it go down and sink faster into the water column. The less material, thick material you have, the faster this fly will sink. Okay, I'm going then to take my thread and I'm going to bring it back up just slightly forward of the halfway point on the shank. At this point, I'm going to tie in my legs. And again, for the legs, I'm going to be using this material, same material, this Life Flex. I cut 3 pieces. About an inch, inch and a half long, maybe 2. Okay, I'm going to hold this in my fingers and I'm going to roll it until I can get all 3 of those ends facing in the same direction. You can see here, they got one looks like it's sticking up a little bit. I want all 3 of them to be going down. And it looks like I've got them now going down. I'll take this about the middle, tie it in with 2 soft wraps, hold it in place, and then go behind it with 2 soft wraps. Now that it's in place, I can make sure that they're about the same length. And then I'm going to make 2 hard wraps over them to hold them in place. And go back the other way and hold them in place. And then I'm going to take my thread and wind it back to a point on the shank, which is just right behind the lead. I'm going to take 2 legs, tie them back, go to the other side, do the same thing. Then I'm going to bring my thread forward to right behind the bundle, and then in front of the bundle. And I'm going to go about halfway, put my thread about halfway between the bead and the bundle. I'm going to try to get 2 wraps of chenille behind the front legs and 2 wraps in front of the front legs. Okay, I'm going to take the far leg, wrap it in place. Then I'll take the near side, wrap it in place. Then bring my thread behind the bead head, behind the bead. Okay, it's time to wind the chenille forward. If I can, I'd like to get at least 3 wraps of chenille behind the back legs. And then if I can, I'd like to get at least 2, maybe 3 between them. And then 2 in front here. And if I can, I'd like to get 2 up here. In fact, I can almost get 3 up there and tie it off. Okay, we'll clip off our tag in. And we'll apply whip finish. Okay, I'll double it up here. Clip off my tag in. And now I'm ready to cut off my legs. Here again, this is a personal preference. I like them a little bit long. So we've got a big bug. Okay, maybe just a tad bit long. And there we have the Arkansas Girdle Bug.